Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk and I'm a makeup artist, and in this video I'm going to show you how to apply yellow eyeshadow. And so I prepared 4 different looks so that you can include the yellow color as well in your eye makeup looks, and this will give you such a beautiful finish. So I'm going to start off with the first eye makeup look, which I want to keep very simple but also very colorful. And so I'm going to use a bigger crease brush as well as the second yellow shade from my Land palette, digging into it, and I'm also going to focus this yellow shade through the crease as well as also the outer V, as this is where I'm going to use for the first eye makeup look the yellow color. And so I'm going to make sure that I'm stamping it at first through the crease and then later on start blending it. And so once you blended the yellow shadow through the crease, we now can move on to the next step, which is applying shimmer on the main lid area. And for that I'm also going to dig into a shimmery shadow that has also a beautiful yellow golden shift. And I'm going to use the Naturally Yours palette by Zoefa, and I'm going to take the shadow on my finger and applying it also with my finger on the main lid area. And so once you place the shimmery shadow on the main lid area, then this is already the look where we use 2 shadows, and both of them are having the beautiful yellow tone in it. And what's really important, especially for people who have hooded eyes, then you have different tones of yellow. You have bright neon ones, but you also have darker ones. Use the darker ones through the crease, as it will help you with your hooded area problem so that it will look less obvious. And I have the Land palette right here, and you have a lighter one as well as a darker one, and I use the darker yellow through the crease so that it will give me naturally a lift as well as creating a bit of a shadow. And this is also one tip that I can share with you if you're going to pick your yellow for through the crease. Now for the second eye makeup look, I'm going to focus the yellow shadow on the main lid area. And for that I'm also going to stick with the same yellow shadow from the Land palette, as well as using a flat eyeshadow brush to apply it. You can also use your finger if you like to, and I'm going to blend it from the lash line towards the crease. And so once you have applied the yellow shadow on the main lid area, we now can move on to the next step, which is applying an olivey green shadow through the crease. And for that I'm also going to use the Essence Salupari palette, and I'm also going to stick with a crease brush so that I can apply it from the crease towards the outer V as well and connect those edges together. And so once you blended the crease shade and through the crease as well as connected it with the outer corner a bit, and you blended the shadow with it together, then we now can move on to the next step, which is applying a golden shimmery shadow on top. Now this is also optional and it also depends on your mood. I personally just wanted to add a bit of shimmer, and I'm going to use a bigger palette which is also by Land, and the shade that I'm going to use is also gold. This is what it calls, and I'm going to use it on my finger so that I can evenly apply it all over the eyelid area. And so once you have applied the shimmery golden shadow on top of the matte yellow one, we now can move on to the next step, which is applying highlighter towards the inner corner. And this is also great if you have a close-setted eyes, which means that they are a little bit closer together than usual. And if you're going to use a bit of highlighter towards the inner corner, then it gives you the appearance that they are looking like a little bit further away rather than being too close-setted. And so I'm going to use the same big palette again, and I'm going to dig into Lychee, which is a very beautiful light but still has golden reflection in it, like a very light yellow in it, which I'm going to place towards the inner corner and also under the brow bone. And so once you have applied the highlighting shade towards the inner corner and the brow bone, then this is already the second eye makeup look. And what I wanted to share with you in those first eye makeup looks is that you can use matte shadow as a base, and then if you have a shimmery shadow at home that you want to use on top, but you still want to make sure that you have a beautiful base going on, that you can also use, for example, golden glitter and place it on top, or any shimmery shadows which are normally a bit more transparent. And if you are just going to combine the same color like the matte yellow as well as the golden shimmer on top, it will pop even more. And you can get so many different like colors of yellow which turn also from a very white yellow towards more of a golden shadow, and those will still look very gorgeous as the main lid area. And now if you also like to, you can add mascara, and also depends on where you want to use this look or wear this look, you can also add false lashes, but this is of course optional. So for the third yellow eye makeup look, I'm going to keep the focus towards all matte shadows. And I'm going to dig into some brown, purple and yellow, as this is also such a beautiful combination. And don't forget that you also can use more than only two shadows, so that you can also create a little bit more of a creative or fall-like eye makeup look, because those colors together mixed with yellow are just gorgeous. And so this is also what I'm going to do, starting off with step number 1, which is applying a light brown shade through the crease, which I'm only going to keep through the crease, and I'm not going to connect it with the outer V, because for that I'm going to use a different color. And so I'm going to use the same big crease brush that I used earlier, and I'm going to dip into it just a tiny bit, and if I need more, I always can add more through the crease. And so now for the next step, I'm going to add some purple towards the outer corner. And I mean, with the crease shadow and with the outer corner, you could replace this color with any other color that you have at home. Just the main focus is, of course, the yellow. And so with the other colors, just have fun with it to create an eye makeup look. And so for the outer corner, I'm going to dig into the Crayolan palette as well as digging into some yellow. And I'm going to use an denser like crease brush again, which is a bit rounded, so that I can keep the focus towards the outer corner, and digging into the second purple from the palette, which is this one right here. And so now, if you have applied it towards the outer corner, we now can use the yellow shadow, and this will also help us to blend it with the brown shadow as well as with the purple shadow all together, so that it will look really flawless and seamlessly. Now, when it comes to blending shadows together, then it's important that you're always going back and forth with the previous color that you used earlier. So I'm going to dig into now the yellow shadow from the Crayolan palette. I'm going to apply it with a flat eyeshadow brush brush, but then I'm also going to go back in with the different brushes when it comes to the other two colors. And so now for the lower lash line, I'm also going to add a bit of purple only towards the outer corner and connecting it also with the upper lid area. And I'm also going to use a flat eyeshadow brush for it and digging into the same purple that I used for the outer corner. And so this is also another way on how you can combine the yellow eyeshadow with other matte colors. And yellow and purple, for example, look beautifully together. And then also using a bit of a transition shade through the crease will help you to get a little bit more of a smoother eye makeup look together. And this is such a gorgeous look. And now this is also the final and also third eye makeup look. So let's move on to the next one. Now for the last eye makeup look, I'm mainly going to focus towards the yellow shadows, as well as I'm going to turn it a bit more into a creative eye makeup look, as I have to play around with those shadows because I personally find that those two colors work perfectly together, and this is my favorite combination when it comes to using yellow shadow. And I'm going to start off with step number 1, which is applying the lighter yellow shadow from the Cryolan palette on the main lid area, as well as using it with a flat eyeshadow brush, so which means that this one is the first yellow in the row. And so I'm going to coat the brush and I'm going to start dabbing it on the main lid area from the lash line towards the crease, and then also blending it a little bit in between. Now that I also can use the dark yellow shadow, which is the second one from the palette, through the crease, you will see the effect what I meant with using the darker yellow through the crease, as well as using a lighter yellow or also a lighter color in general on the main lid area, so that the effect will be better. And I'm going to use a crease brush for this area as well, and if needed I'm also going to use a blending brush, but it also depends on how it turns out with the crease brush. And here you can see the effect if I'm going to use the lighter yellow as well as the darker yellow through the crease. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to use the two yellows together and I'm going to apply it with the flat eyeshadow brush. And I'm also connecting it with the upper part from the outer corner. Now this is what the eye makeup would look like if I'm only going to use yellow eyeshadow as my eye makeup, and then you still can go ahead and add the colors that you like to it, or you just can leave it as it is. For me personally, as I wanted to turn it a bit more into a creative eye makeup look, I'm going to add some blue with it. And this is such an amazing combination that I just had to bring it into this video as well. Now I'm going to make sure that I'm going to keep the inner rim of my eye very, very blue. So I'm going to start off with using a blue liner, which I'm going to add through the waterline from the bottom as well as the upper part of the waterline before moving on. So now you could go crazy. You could only add a blue liner on the top, or you just can like leave it as it is. I personally like to use a liner. I'm like digging into the blue shadow which I have in a Crewline palette, and I'm also going to wet the brush, but I'm also going to use it all around. So I'm going to start from the inner corner towards the outer, and then on the lower lash line as well. So that I'm going to like basically use the liner as a shape of my eye, and it also will stand out because of the yellow and the blue color. And I'm not going to blend the blue, I'm just going to keep it as a proper liner. And to make it even more obvious, I'm going to use a bigger liner brush for it. I have water in front of me, as well as digging into my favorite blue color on earth, which, I mean, give me this blue and I'm doing anything for you, because this is such a gorgeous color, and it also will make the eye makeup look pop, as well as even more creative and unusual. So what I'm basically doing now is using the water as well as the pencil, like not the pencil, the brush, and I'm going to wet it and then digging into the eyeshadow and making sure that I'm coating the brush really nicely. So with this one, I'm definitely going to wet the brush. Like, I'm not only going to dampen the brush, it should be like watercolor, so that I have enough color on the brush to create a proper liner. And I'm going to start off with the upper part. Now make sure that if you're going to create this eye makeup look and you digged in some powder as well as wet the brush, that you're also going to let it dry before moving on. But if you have a liquid liner at home that has the color that you want to use, then this is totally fine, because this will also work perfectly together. Now this is also the final eye makeup look which I wanted to share with you guys. I do hope that you enjoyed this video and that you like the ways on how you can use yellow on your eyelid area and just have fun with it. Now if you like this video as well as the steps, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also share it, as this is an independent channel. Thank you so much for watching and your support, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye!